This is the AFERY 3600 watt portable power station. It's got about, I think, 3800 watt hours. As you can see, this is a large power station. It's about as portable as possible. It does have wheels and a bar, so you can wheel it around, which makes things really nice. It does have a couple nice handles on here, so you can pick it up and carry it around. But honestly, it's kind of heavy. You should just wheel it around. That's why wheels were invented. This unit was sent to me as a demo unit so I could try it out and make this video. And before I send it back, I've been trying all sorts of things I can do with this just to see what its capabilities are. So obviously at 3600 watts, you can power literally any appliance or any device with this. The real question is, does it last as long as you need it to? Or when you're charging multiple devices, is that going to do what you need it for? Now, the use cases I would recommend this for is if you do construction and you use a lot of power tools or things like that. This thing is amazing for that. When I was building my shed, I used a portable power station. All my tools are electric. I tell you what, that makes things so easy. You can wheel this around to wherever you need to go. If you need to charge battery packs, you can do that using this. If you're using a table saw or an air compressor or a vacuum or whatever, you can use all of that with this all at the same time. You could have multiple air compressors going, all powered by this. Another thing I used this for was to power my entire desk setup. I wanted to use this as a UPS to see how well it would work. So I plugged my entire desk into this. Then I plugged this into power, and then I would try pulling the power out. I did that a few times, not so much as a flicker. Everything stayed on just great. So if you wanted to use this as a UPS for a computer or a server or something like that, you absolutely could. Now, I will say that the fan would come on every once in a while using that, and that's pretty common with a UPS, but that's something to be aware of if you need a quiet setting. This will have a fan that kicks in every once in a while. And for emergency preparedness, this is also amazing. If the power goes out for some reason, you could plug your refrigerator or your freezer into this, so you could go without power for several days. Just plug everything into this and you'd be totally fine. And then if you need to plug in other appliances, you could do that as well. I plugged this into a mini dryer that I have, and that worked just fine on this. Some of the features with this, the screen is kind of standard, what you would see with other portable power stations. It says what the input is, it says what the output is, it says how much time you have left either for charging or for discharging. It's got 4 USB-C ports. One of them is 100 watts, so you could use this to charge your laptop. The other are 20 watt, and it does have 2 quick charging USB-A ports. So any device you plug into this, you've got some quick charge with that. A nice unique feature with this is there's actually a knob on here, so you can regulate the input. If you want to preserve the life of a battery, you don't want to charge it really fast and have it heat up. What you want to do is do a slower charge, and you can specify that. So if you're just using this as a UPS, or if you have plenty of time to charge it, you can turn this down. It will charge at a slower pace, which is good for the battery. But if something is coming up and you just need to charge this right away, this thing charges really fast. You can turn it all the way up. I think from 0 to 100%, this will charge in about 2 hours, maybe 2 to 3. I can't remember exactly, but for how big this is, that is crazy fast. Here are the plugs for DC output. So if you need to use any of that for DC, then for AC, you have these 4 outlets. And you also have this beefy 30 amp outlet if you need it. On the back here, you have a light, so you can turn the light on. Probably can't see that because we're outside. You can either use the light or you can turn on the emergency signal. You've got an overload protection button, and then you have your, I think this is the XT90 connector, and then your AC connector. And then there's 2 ports here if you want to plug in additional batteries. So yes, you can connect additional batteries to this and get even more power. Pretty cool. If you've been thinking about getting a power station like this, but you haven't yet, let me just say, before I got my first power station, I thought I'd probably only use it a few times a year at most. But since I've had a power station, I use it literally all the time. For any house project, I'll bust this out because it makes power so much easier. I can turn power off the circuit breakers, then use this for all the power I need. So it's great for DIY projects. I have a power station out in my shed. It powers everything in my shed. It's always plugged into solar power. I love it for that. When we go on vacations, all my boys are on tablets. The tablets die after a while, especially long vacations. We take along a power station, usually not one this big, but then when their tablets die, we can just plug into that. They're happy for the entire trip. Nice long road trips. These things are amazing. Fortunately, we don't have blackouts a lot here, so I haven't used this in an emergency situation, but we have had instances where we've had to move appliances around and I've had to plug them in different places, and power stations just come in handy. Once you have one of these things, you'll use it all the time. This one is really impressive just with how big this is. Hope this video helped. Thanks for watching.